Now, a charity is calling on government to fund research into how epilepsy drugs affect unborn children. They want to shine a light on women's healthcare and ensure those suffering from epilepsy can take safer medication that won't pose any risk during pregnancy. Well, let's talk to Claire Pelham, Chief Executive of the Epilepsy Society, and Yasmin Golding, who's had epilepsy since the age of 11. Good to see you both this morning. Look, Claire, what are the problems with the current medication when it comes to unborn children?
Well, there are 300,000 women with epilepsy in the UK, many of whom are mothers or want to become mothers at some point in their lives. And a recent government report has found that many epilepsy drugs cause avoidable physical and learning disabilities to the baby if they're taken during pregnancy. And that leaves the women with an almost impossible choice. Do they carry on taking these drugs, knowing that there's a risk, a significant risk, that they may have a baby with physical or learning disabilities? Or do they try to switch to safer drugs, which carry the risk of a breakthrough seizure with them? And they may, in themselves, having a seizure may put the health of the mother and baby at risk.
Well,
it's a terrible dilemma.
For those of us who don't know, what is a breakthrough seizure?
So a breakthrough seizure is a seizure that occurs while you're taking epilepsy drugs because the drugs aren't 100% effective in preventing seizures, which is the reason why many of the women are taking these drugs in the first place, to enable them to live ordinary lives. And in fact, many of their friends and colleagues wouldn't know day to day that they're working alongside or socialising alongside a woman with epilepsy.
Yasmin, I mean, you've been living with this for quite some time now. I mean, how concerned are you as you reach an age where you sort of might be looking towards starting a family? I mean, this has got to be a real concern.
Very concerned. And I have been for a while now. And while I'm not trying to start a family right now, it's that state of wanting to be able to and knowing that when that time comes, this isn't going to be a major issue. Like Claire said, it's something that comes with impossible choices, and it's not just right at the start when you decide to change your medication. It's the impact of if you do change, constantly being aware of that impact it may have and being anxious that it may trigger something. And then if you do choose to stay on your medication, each time you have to take that, and I take medication multiple times a day, it's going to carry that feeling of, what am I doing to my unborn child right now? So from my point of view, it's a situation I don't want to be in, and I don't want to put myself there yet, but there's no potential alternative for me because there's not med that will control my seizures.
I mean, there will be people watching, and I know it's going to sound harsh to you, but I've got to ask it, who will say, look, don't you have to make the choice that you cannot have children?
Yes, that is a choice. And I think this is one of the things that's probably a reason research hasn't gone ahead. When you're saying to someone you can't have your own children at that would be, you're taking away not only the chance to carry your own child, but the whole experience of pregnancy. I was actually strangely interested. I wanted to go through pregnancy before I knew I wanted to have children, for sure. I think that's the most amazing thing the human body can do. I'm a scientist, so it's a bit strange. But so for me to not be able to do that, that's a big thing that you're taking away from my life experience. But there are alternatives there, such as adoptions, and I have seriously considered this. But it's about knowing for sure. Right now, if my doctor was able to say with full certainty, look, Yasmin, we're sorry, we just can't let you, it wouldn't be safe, we can't get you on anything else, then I would accept it and start to, really put my mind onto, okay, adoption, another alternative is what I've got to do. But right now I'm left with the uncertainty, and it may come that when it is time for me to start a family and I'm really trying, I get told then, and it will be much harder news to take then.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, Claire. I mean, it's a horribly hard question. I hated to ask it, but it's looking at whilst you want more research into getting safer drugs that are not going to affect unborn children. It's what you do in the meantime. I mean, you've called it an impossible choice. I mean, how do you advise people what to do?
So the first and very important thing that I must say, that if you're a woman with epilepsy watching now, please don't stop taking your epilepsy medication without consulting your doctor. That's very important. But you referred to a choice earlier, and I think it's important to say that there's a much, much better choice available, which is that the government announced in the Queen's speech that a significant increase in research funding for the life sciences to make the UK a world leader. Well, what we're asking for is for women and children to be a priority in allocating that funding. If research funding were a lifeboat, and for many women with epilepsy, it really is, who wouldn't say women and children first? And we at the Epilepsy Society are urging the government to prioritise women and their babies in allocating this funding.
I mean, look, you said, Yasmin, you're a scientist. I love scientists. Can I say I'm a geek, so I love talking to scientists. Do you hold out hope that with extra allocation of funding, with more solid government-backed research, that there can be an answer to this?
Yes, I do, because research is where you break down the barriers and challenge what is known. The sort of medication that people are given, like I myself, I'm on multiple meds, but phenytoin I take, and it's horrible. It's one of the most dangerous ones when it comes to pregnancy. That's coming on for, I think, it's over 80 years old. So we're using age-old medication to treat people in the modern era, and we need to use all our knowledge that modern medicine has brought us and put that towards research so that there can be hope in the future for, it can be the girls who are teenagers now, children being born with it, so that when they are ready to have children, there is a drug available, because it will take time to find out, but we need to get that going.
Yeah, yeah. Look, do you know what? It's a real joy to talk to both of you, and I hope it gives everyone a bit of hope that there will be something coming down the road pretty soon. Thank you both very much indeed.
Thank you.
And do you know what? An inspirational young woman as well. What a very difficult situation. Top stories.